Am I live? Oh, damn. Yo, yo, yo. Damn, I'm here. Come back. All right. What up, yo? This is crazy. I just decided to start streaming at 1 in the morning. There's like feedback in my mic, but I just started this stream. I'm writing content. It's 1 a.m. I can't sleep. I had a Red Bull at like 8 o'clock, I think. So I'm wired and I'm ready to write content. I wish I could play music, but I don't want it to get taken down. I play some Drake, I play some Kanye, mostly Drake. All right, let's finish some content. Let me see. So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm like setting this all up for the first time. It's pretty crazy. Took me a while, but that's all good. Anyways, so let's see here. All right, we're gonna run this. So we're gonna run this with Claude. Um, I'm gonna try to show as much as I can, but I don't want to let's see. I can't see if anybody's in here, but I'm gonna assume no one's here. Let me see. All right, I think this is the. Let me see. Property. Okay, let's go. Let's show. Ah, perfect. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I think this will be all right. I can drag this, right? Oh, okay. Oh, oh, here we go. We're rolling. We're rolling. We're rolling. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Here we fucking go. Here we go, world. Okay. Um, all right. So let's speak this out loud. Um, I mean, where do I start? Uh, so writing this piece of content, for a video that's about writing Claude's with I have a couple scripts on writing writing content with Claude. Um, this is one of the versions. I have a couple scripts and I'll share them. I'm gonna basically read them out and compare the two and which one I like. Uh, and then we're going to decide on which one works. Uh, this is this is how I turn Claude into you. I don't know if I like that. This is how I turn Claude into you. What? What does that mean? Um, uh, this is how I turn Claude into you. The first 5 seconds are, I'm not gonna say it's the most important thing when it comes to writing content, but it is pretty important because if you can't watch it for the first 5 seconds, there's no point of writing the rest. This is how I turn Claude into you. This is how to turn Claude into you. Most people don't know this, but you can teach Claude to write exactly like you in four steps. And the fourth one is the one nobody does. Start with the tells. There's a Wikipedia page called Signs of AI Writing. Copy the whole thing into Claude and save it as a file called AI Tells. That's your do not write list, and it's where most people stop. It only says what to avoid. Claude still has no idea what you sound like. So go to Google Takeout and export your Gmail. Then use this prompt to analyze your email history. Now it has your actual writing, not its idea of writing. Then tell Claude to find three types of people you actually talk to and build a skill for each one, because you don't write to your boss the way you would write to your mom. But here's the best part. Every time Claude drafts an email and you change three things before you send it, tell Claude to update the skill using its draft and the email you actually sent. It learns your edits, and by day 30, you're barely touching it. And the cool thing is, it isn't only email. And it isn't only email. The same four steps work anywhere you write. So to set this all up, I built a plugin that 4,000 people use. It writes the prompts, builds the skills, and installs the whole thing inside your own Claude. So if you comment context, I'll send it over. Okay. Um, this is how I turn Claude into you. I call it the voice stack. It's four layers, and it works because when you prompt Claude with no context, it will always default to the statistical middle of everything it was trained on. Every layer pulls it off the average and toward pulls it off that average and toward you. So layer one is the tells. 99% of people know it's AI when they see the almighty M dash. Almost nobody knows the rest. So here's how you fix that. Go to Wikipedia. There's a page called Signs of AI Writing. Copy the whole thing into Claude and save it as a file called AI Tells. That's a do not write list. Oh, I thought it was just my camera. And it's where most people stop. It only tells Claude what to avoid. It only tells Claude what to avoid. It still has no idea what you sound like. Layer two is your voice. And how you get your voice, go to Google Takeout, export your Gmail. Use this prompt to analyze the email history. Now it has your actual writing, not just your idea of writing. And then layer three is who you're writing to, because you don't write to your boss the way you write to a client or your mom. So tell Claude to read your emails and find the three types of people you actually talk to and build a skill for each one. Now, layer four is the loop, and this one took me too long to figure out. Claude right, and this is the part I was telling you about. That was the oh no, yeah, and this one took me too long to figure out. Claude writes the email, you fix the three things, because Claude writes the email, you fix three things, you send it, you close a tab. It never learns what you changed. So every time you fix one, tell Claude to update. Every time you fix an email, tell Claude to update the skill using the draft and the email that you actually sent. That's the layer that compounds, because by day 30 of using it, you'll be barely editing. Your tells, your voice, a skill for each person, and then a loop. That's the voice stack. And this doesn't only apply to email. These same four layers work anywhere that you write a message. So now if you want all four, now if you want all four set up inside your own clause step by step, I built a plugin that 4,000 people use that does it for you. Comment contacts and I'll send it over. I like, I like this one way better. It needs some, it definitely needs some tweaks on just some of the wording and just tightening. And then I'm gonna prompt Claude to help us get there. But I think this is super simple. Um, I think this is super. I'm like watching my own stream. Oh, you can't even see that. Yeah, I think bruh. I'm trying to figure out if the stream is good enough quality. You guys, can I see that? Let me see. Can you see that better? Yeah, that'll have to do. And I think what I can do, I'll just make it bigger on maybe what's Zen mode? Oh shit. Look at Zen mode, dude. Zen mode is appearance. Uh, uh, uh. Zoom in. Yeah, we'll just zoom in. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. I think also, I'm just checking my streams, Let me see how it works. This is my first time doing this is like what? Oh, I didn't even add it to Twitch, bro. That's okay. That is all right. We can add it now. Rookie. Let's go start. Let's start. Okay, Twitch has started. Um, okay, so now I'm gonna prompt Claude. Um, I'm gonna prompt Claude to I'm going on the voice stack. Like that better. Better. We need better hooks. Let's see. I think this is good right here. All right, this is Claude. Here we freaking go. Let's zoom in so y'all can see. Zoom in. There you go. There you go. Okay. I'm going the voice stack. I like it better. I'm gonna drop my thoughts on what I think of this script here. That's gonna be pretty raw. Shoot. Let me not mix that up. All right. All right. Let me just look at the script. So a couple things on what I think about the script. I like this is how to turn Claude Code into you. That doesn't really mean anything. This is how to turn Claude Code. It needs to shift into something more about um, our original hook about the how to write emails that are so human it's impossible to tell. Um, I think that was a good hook. I don't know if I'd change that. Um, and then I'll handwrite the rest. I think that's the only issue I have with the hook. So um let's come up with some more examples. And just so you guys know, I've Claude Code is all set up with a bunch of knowledge bases and a plugin I use called Build Partner that is linked to um, databases that have a ton of context around marketing, around sales, around content, even, especially Callaway. A lot of the content that I'm writing and the person that I'm writing for builds with, our North Star is Callaway. Um, so that's why I'm just in Claude Code, I'm just prompting it because on the back end it has enough expert context that I can trust the output, but I wouldn't recommend just asking Claude right away. You have to have a knowledge stack, I'll call it, that can give you these kinds of outputs. So, um, now let's look at the hook that it produced. Here's how to write emails with clauses that are so human. I call it the voice stack. It's only 4 layers. It works because when you prompt Claude with no context, it defaults to the statistical middle of everything it was trained on. Man, let's look at the original script. Like I had the original script and it was like it was, here's what I'm gonna tell Claude. Because the original script I had was banger. It just had this concept that was just created. Because with AI, we're for most people, it's such an ethereal concept. Like, oh, I use AI, but what does that even mean? So I guess what I'm learning is like um the more simple a concept is, maybe the more creative you have to get to talk about a boring topic, but the more complex a topic is, the more simple you have to draw it down. And that's why Alex Hermosi, when everybody knows him in the business world as somebody who can take these simple and complicated business concept and dumb them down to second grade level explanations, and that you get, like the value equation that he has, which is, oh God, I don't even remember the value equation. Or, learning is a um same situation, different behavior. And he dumbs it down that way. So I'm saying that off rip, but well, my point with that was, yeah, I think with the feedback that I got from this script for the person that I'm writing for is, on the initial read, it's a touch creative. I had a concept here with the street, that made it abstract, and it's a bit creative. Um, so we either need to have more explanation. Um, so I think I'm just gonna edit the original thing that I had, and maybe bring it a touchdown on the creativity side and just be more clear. So I'm actually gonna paste to Claude the original script and then the notes of the edit, and then we're going to let's um let's work from there. So that's, yeah, I think I had Whisper on already, which is my recording tool that, you know, records my audio and then types it out for me. So here's Austin's comments on the copy. I think we reworked it too much and we kind of dumbed it down too much, where he said on the initial read it's a touch too creative, and we made the street concept too abstract. So we either need to have a bit more explanation to bring this up to a point where Austin likes it and wants to film it, or um yeah, the thing we need to bridge is the concept. So maybe we can do that, maybe we can't, but let's experiment a little bit, but not too much, because I want to finish this in the next 10 minutes, and have it ready for Austin. So we're gonna paste it. One thing I will show is Callaway is such a master at hooks and content. So like, let's go. Oh, look, let's try this. Can you guys see that? Oh yeah, live and streaming. So like, Callaway. Um, so this is the original video that I'm modeling for this type of concept.
Exact same psychology casinos use to keep people gambling. Step one is the stakes. To get any dopamine to release, the viewer has to care about your story in the first place. To get them to care, you need stakes. Stakes are three things. One, a character someone can root for. Two, something at risk.
Can you hear that? I think you can, right?
And three, urgency. For example, the stakes of the story could be me as a character have to sell my house if I don't complete some mission in just 2 weeks. And the stakes don't need to be life or death. They just have to be personally relevant for your ideal viewer. Step two is the big question. This is where you give enough context to have a super juicy question pop in the viewer's mind. The stakes are what make them pay attention, but the big question is what makes them.
Let's start over. ADHD.
Impossible to skip. This is called the dopamine addiction loop. It's only 4 steps, but it uses the exact same. Here's how to make your storytelling so addictive, it is scientifically impossible to skip. This is called the dopamine addiction loop. It's only 4 steps, but it uses the exact same psychology casinos use to keep people gambling. Step 1 is the stakes. To get any dopamine to release, the viewer has to care about your story in the first place. To get them to care, you need stakes. Stakes are 3 things. 1, a character someone can root for. 2, something at risk. And 3, urgency. For example, the stakes of a story could be me as a character have to sell my house if I don't complete some mission in just 2 weeks. And the stakes don't need to be life or death. They just have to be personally relevant for your ideal viewer. Step 2 is the big question. This is where you give enough context to have a super juicy question pop in the viewer's mind. The stakes are what make them pay attention, but the big question is what makes them really curious and want to keep watching. In the casino, the big question that happens when you're playing blackjack is which card is going to come next. Now, step 3 is the head fake. And this is really where you hook them. The head fake is where you contrast against what the normal viewer should believe. So my stakes and big question lead someone to assume A, then I snap the story in a different direction to reveal B instead. This is the art of contrast, and it's what makes your story truly addictive. It's why mystery novels and suspenseful movies are beloved by so many people. Those types of stories almost always reveal a crazy head fake no one saw coming. All right, now step 4, the last one in the addiction loop, is the rehook. Just like a casino tries to deal you the next blackjack hand as soon as possible, you want to try to rehook the viewer as fast as you can. Good stories have one addiction loop throughout the whole thing, but great stories have cascading loops that go in succession. This combination, stakes, the big question, the head fake, and the rehook, is all you need for a super addicting story. If you want to learn how to actually do this with real examples and tactical tips, I've got a full video that explains the
Yeah, that's the okay.
entire thing. Over 100,000 people have watched this, and it's being shared all over YouTube.
All right, we got this is the original one. Here's how to write an email with Claude that's so human, it's impossible to tell. I call it the return address. It's only 4 blocks. Because write me an email is giving Claude your city and asking it to find your front door. So tell Claude to analyze your emails. So tell Claude to analyze your emails. I got one watcher and it's me. I got one watcher and it's me. I got one watcher and it's me. I don't know if this script would be good. Mm, I can give him two versions, and maybe we need to. Oh man. Oh